Hey, what's up, Burgess? Hey, there's a lot of people want to know what's going on. You know, I only chose to keep my mouth shut. For my safety. For my make it out of jail. You know what I mean? Not going to prison and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Um, but people want to contradict and compare and contrast everything I do. So I gotta be careful what I say when I do open my mouth. So that's what it was. But bottom line it is like, honestly, my opinion. Don't forget this is my opinion now. So regardless of how you take it, I'm just letting you know what's going on around here. I found out, first thing, it's a lot of people, the less fortunate, make their money off, you know, what thing we used to call when we was kids telling, ain't snitch, you know what I mean? I remember we used to go by that rule, snitches get stitches, snitches get bruised, but that ain't the case, that was for a reason, you know what I mean? Because it's obvious snitching was a big thing, since we was kids, you know what I mean? But it wasn't me, you know what I mean? That's the first thing, people got to make papers, especially poor cities and states, you know what I mean? Ain't got nothing else to do, you know. Then that neighborhood thing, the hood thing, that ain't what it's popping no more either, cause now that, everybody gone, dead or alive, locked up, prison, incarcerated, it just, people just trying to find somewhere to stay now, you know what I mean? Back and forth to everybody, everything just mixed up together now, you know what I mean? That hood thing and what it is, and that really wasn't what it was either, now that I'm grown, and I realized that. Another thing, most people in prison, little kids trying to be cool, trying to show out for the audience or the next man, or for them women, you know what I mean, get themselves in trouble, locked up, doing time, you know what I mean, and end up in a situation they don't want to be in and try to shorten their time by snitching on who did it, who, why, how, that's where the first 48 come from, you know what I mean. They had you by the first 10 hours, but first 48 just show you the process, if you were paying attention to the television show. I ain't even got no television right now, you know what I mean, but that's for reasons too, sometimes be the closest people to you trying to get you messed up. Claim they got access to some money that was given and don't, because I remember everything, somehow I feel like it was meant for me to forget, but by the grace of God, I didn't, you know what I mean? So, somebody lied to you and they promise you a cut. I'm sorry, that ain't true either. They probably trying to say they own ass and cover up their shit, you know what I mean? That's true. Another thing, homosexuality, there's some gays that's open with their gayness, but then, it's a lot of men that's undercover, you know what I mean? Step out like they just big dog, you know what I mean? And this ain't everybody now, don't get me wrong. Some people hold it down, but that's even dangerous because all the real niggas are dead. Ain't no more going to jail and prison. They rather die before they do that shit, And recently I found myself in that situation, and still trying to keep out because 3 strikes I'm out. I've been in jail 3 times last year. If I counted Orlando, that'd be 2. So 5 times last year. Baker acted, trying to go to the hospital, rest my feet, you know what I mean? This was all year, while I'm traveling, you know what I mean? Do everything, but it's survival of the fittest out here, you know what I mean? But don't nobody understand that. People just here for the party. People just here, gossip, spread rumors and be messy, you know what I mean? But don't even really know what's going on because when I was out there the whole last year, I ain't see nobody. But now that it's over, I got somewhere to stay, trying to get on my feet, trying to, make some money. Now it's a big deal to everybody. That's what I don't understand. But other than that, that's basically what's going on. And really, people, contradict the fact that I kept my mouth shut. I'm probably one of the only ones, or only one that ain't snitching around here. So that's a big deal too. So me keeping my mouth shut, that's for me, not you. I don't see what you worry about what's going on in my life for. Half you motherfuckers ain't got nothing to do with it. The other half, It ain't even really got nothing to do with family, honestly. This was my situation. I just chose to tell one person, and that's all it was. Obvious, obviously, the word got around. I already knew what was up. I was already prepared. So in that house situation, people trying to claim pervertedness and anything they can throw at you, cause maybe it's a lot of stuff people trying to hide and blame my situation in the first place, cause they ain't woman enough, they ain't man enough to deal with that shit. You know what I mean? If they lied to you, they lied to you. Bottom line, point blank period. I ain't lied damn once, not one time. I probably was sarcastic to myself, about the situation, or sarcastic with my recordings, but other than that, I was straight up truth, honest, you know what I mean? But people promise you bullets and death, like you forget about it, and then move to the next thing, go home to wifey and all this other stuff, anything they can throw at you to try to get a piece of a prop, and people can't survive our props around here. People sarcastic because I chose to starve instead of them motherfuckers in there sucking dick for anything, you know what I mean? Just because they the ones that got the time, they already know what time it is. They used to it. I ain't about to live that life, you know what I mean? All that bullshit going on around here and all that shit, and everybody playing like it's cool, like they don't know what's going on. Creek need to say something about it. Concrete need to talk, but y'all already know what's going on here. You know what I mean? Around here, you know what I mean? Y'all know what goes on in jailhouse and prison houses. Don't play stupid. You want to know if it's true? Yes. And the real niggas that's in that motherfucker, they ain't having that shit. And you know how it is. You know how I work in the jailhouse and the military. You don't want to bow down, you going to have to take a loss. I ain't bow down, but I laid down at the end because my time was up. I had to fight to see judges, cause not because the people that work there, just because inmates put in requests and complaining and go running, telling this nigga did and blaming anything they can, so you can probably get your time, increased and go to prison with them and they play like they cool. That shit's stupid. But other than that, I ain't got time to play. I got a life to live. So if you want to throw your life away, go ahead. That's cool with me. Man, I ain't about to throw mine away. I got a life to live. I got something to live for. And right now, I'm trying to make it out of the state of Florida and Pensacola, Florida, because if most likely I catch another case for some stupid shit like this, I'll be sure to go to prison. And that's what it seems like everybody want me to do, if I ain't dead by then. But that's about it. All right, Chief gon' holler.